Hello there, I'm Harley, and I'm here with a new video. In this video, I'll be reviewing the Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 teaser and sharing my own theories with you. Enjoy watching. Mob Entertainment posted a photo on October 12th in celebration of the 4th anniversary of Poppy Playtime Chapter 1. The photo featured the logo of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, with the laboratory where poppy flowers are grown. We saw at the end of Chapter 4 in the background, and the prototype's claw. But there was a notable detail in the photo. There was a toy doll head resembling Poppy's head in the prototype's claw. This could be a hint about Chapter 5. Perhaps we will see Poppy's death in Chapter 5, if you remember, towards the end of Chapter 4. The prototype had a conversation with Poppy before exploding the ventilation shaft. And in that conversation, we learned that there was a secret connection between Poppy and the prototype. In this conversation, it's very clear that there's an unknown connection between Poppy and the prototype, with some even suggesting it's a father-daughter connection. The truth is, the quiet disappearance of Elliot Ludwig, owner of Playtime Company, increases the likelihood that he is the prototype. So was Poppy his deceased daughter? This remains a huge mystery for now, and I hope it will be revealed in Chapter 5. Now let's get straight to the point. On October 31st, Mob Entertainment released the first teaser for Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, and on the same day, the 5th chapter became available to add to wishlist on Steam. Let's watch the teaser video. As we saw in the video, we will see many new places and stuff in the game. It is very clear that the game will set in a very large place. We entered the factory's highest security area, and there is a large laboratory in front of us. In one part of the video, we see Poppy gel on the floor and the prototype's shadow reflected on the wall. Interesting, right? The frightening truth is that most of the living toys made in the factory contain this gel, and it is thanks to that gel that they survive. But what if that gel leaked from Poppy? What if she was injured in some way by the explosion, or is dying somewhere? We don't know exactly what happened to her right now. I have a theory about that gel, but I'll explain later. The shadow of the prototype reflected on the wall looks very similar to the one we saw in Chapter 4. We assume that the prototype has 6 crab-like legs. It would be great to see the entire body of the prototype in Chapter 5. There is another very important detail that stands out in the video. Towards the end of the video, we see Poppy's cardboard, but we see that it is on fire, and underneath it is Poppy jelly. So what does this mean? As I said earlier, there is a high possibility that we will see Poppy's end in this chapter. Well, now let's take a look at the images of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 on Steam. In the first image, we see the legendary villain, Huggy Wuggy. We last saw him at the end of Chapter 4. At first, we thought it was Kissy, but it was Huggy as we know. No one expected him to survive and reappear before us. But after we defeated Huggy, the developers gave us hopeful hints about his return in the following chapters. It's clear that he'll be chasing us like before. The other images show the locations where the game will take place. The store images consist of 6 photos, each taken from the game. But the 4th and 6th photos give us a hint of what awaits us in Chapter 5. In the 4th image, we see the main entrance to the laboratory. Look carefully at the colors there. Does it look familiar? In Chapter 4, in the scene where Doughy finds us in a confused state and the prototype explodes Safe Haven, we see a symbol in the background. It's a square symbol in the shape of a box in different colors. It's very clear that this symbol is connected to Boxy Boo, which we saw in Project Playtime released in 2022. And now, look again at the colors at the main entrance of the laboratory in this photo. Have you figured out the connection? This connection shows that we will see Boxy Boo in Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. He will be one of the villains of the game, and we will fight him. Now, let's look at the sixth image. It's a normal photo, right? The real mystery is hidden here. Let's take a look at the fake area for children we saw in Playcare in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. Everything looks so innocent. The sun, the clouds, the air. It's a fake environment design so that the orphan children there don't understand anything that's going on. Now let's look at this part of the image. Apparently we'll see such a place in this chapter too. We know that the lab is the prototype's home and that he keeps something hidden there. He probably keeps orphan children captive there, or some living toys. We don't yet fully understand what purpose he serves or what goal he works toward, but I have another theory too. Now let's move on to my theories. Earlier, I mentioned that Poppy Gel is used in experiments conducted in the factory and that it is present in living toys. The part we see on the floor may be connected to the part we see in the teaser. In the teaser, we see a location, a surgical procedure table, and a hand on the floor. Which bigger body do you think this hand belongs to? Undoubtedly, this hand can only belong to two of the bigger bodies made in the factory, Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy. If we think about it more carefully, this hand can only belong to one of the two. So who do you think it belongs to? Well, some people might say it probably belongs to Kissy, but I can tell you that it doesn't belong to Kissy. Towards the end of Chapter 4, when the ventilation shaft exploded, Kissy held us in the place where it exploded, but her right arm was somehow injured and weak and broke off. When we fell down, we saw Kissy's severed arm, and it's certain that the hand we saw in the teaser doesn't belong to Kissy. When we defeated Huggy Wuggy at the end of Chapter 1, he fell from a height of several meters. So who rescued him and healed him? The answer is very simple. The prototype. The hand we saw in the teaser is in the laboratory. What is laboratory to the prototype? Of course, home. The prototype found injured Huggy lying on the ground after falling from a height of several meters and took him home. He healed him and sent him to the front of the lab to find us again. The prototype has been watching us throughout the 4 chapters we've played so far. So that hand we saw on the ground belongs to Huggy. What I have to say about that gel isn't limited to this. What if Kissy passed by that place, and the gel leaked from her severed arm? This is just a theory. Maybe that gel leaked from injured Poppy? Maybe from Huggy? We don't really know. Maybe it hadn't leaked from anybody. It's just a lodging. Other than that, if you noticed, we didn't see anything about the doctor in the teaser. We didn't see anything about his return or his fake death. And they didn't give us the exact release date of the game. Some theory makers say the game will be released in April next year. No one knows the exact release date. Like Chapter 3 and 4, the 5th chapter may be released on January 30th. Alright, that's all. The next video I theorized about Chapter 5 will be coming soon. Stay tuned. See you in the next video. Goodbye.